Okay, I'm live. Hello. Got my unofficial sponsor hat here. We're just gonna wait. Maybe I can. Okay, Instagram says it's telling my followers that I've started a live video. People watching this now, my name is John Gebretatose. This is the John Gebretatose interviews really cool people that make art inclusive show. That is that's not the official title, but it's a work in progress. So today we have from Austin, Texas, Shannon Stott will be joining us. I do have a Bumble hat. I really want to get sponsored by Bumble. I really believe that, the work that I do is just, it's cool. And I think that's enough of a reason. They got money. It's a weird time for artists. This feels like it makes sense to me. I think I'll probably start shouting from the mountaintop. Who knows what happens? I don't know. Let me see if I can get a hold of Shannon. Stop. Well, today, the thing about this biz of improv is there's no it's not to the point where there's like a commissioner, there's no like federations, there's no improv, it's just like a true art. So when you try to make it inclusive, there's no how do I say this? It's up to the people to really make it inclusive. I think other spaces that are corporate or whatever, they kind of have lawyers, and then it gets real political. So I'm really interested in the people that are doing this work on the ground around the world. People all over are doing really amazing things. People just naturally believe that artists have the right to be themselves, and they have the right to be in art spaces, art spaces that have certain ideas or norms. They have the right to come in as themselves, whatever that is, and still be an artist and have that art serve them. I learned that from Talib Kweli, rapper. He said hip-hop lives for us. We don't live for hip-hop, and I think that really changed my whole mindset. It was like, oh yeah, we're not supposed to like succumb to art form. No, it's supposed to serve me. It's supposed to be a vehicle for me to shine. It's supposed to make me look good. I'm not supposed to be beholden. I'll never be some other artist in how they do the art. I don't need to. Yeah, so that is my rant here. Well, it's 5:03. Our friend Shannon is in Austin. I know they're going to come in anytime soon. I see Ashanti's in the room. Ashanti's in the house. Ashanti and I are technically in Berlin, Germany right now. Technically, in our minds, lock my body, can't trap my mind. And I've traveled to Berlin, bro. Oh man, it's a fun thing. And so, I just, the real truth about it is, this is hard work. It's hard work because we're going up against years and years of ideologies of people being competitive, especially in capitalism. So, nobody gives a fuck about bringing people in unless they're hired to be their mentor, designed to be their mentor at a corporation. Aside from that, people are just like, what? Who's this person? I mean, I don't know. Are they related to me? Okay, maybe I'll look out for them. It's just really weird. And I was fortunate enough to grow up in a neighborhood where you are obligated to, you take care of the people who are younger than you or who just started. You're supposed to give people access to information. You're supposed to put them in the best position. They are not competition, ever. If anything, they inspire whatever you're trying to do and make it bigger and better. And God bless those people that just arrive. Or God bless, you should be thankful. I think it's corny when people are like, oh no, I'm not going to be available to them. And it's one thing to have self-care and boundaries for yourself, but it's another to just have this mindset of well, it's competitive, so look them. It's weak. It's weak. Credit goes to Lauren Anderson. She's an amazing talent here in Minneapolis and the Twin Cities, the funniest person in the Twin Cities. And that's just not me saying it. She's been voted and has awards. And she really, really did that for me. I'm in a basement right now in an undisclosed location. And that's all you need to know. Bumble, get at me. All right, Shannon is in the building. We're going to go in. There it is. I got a request. Add. We're about to get real technical in this. We'll wait for Shannon to pick up. Oh, Shannon's Stott in the house.
Hey, hey.
Also, Shannon, can you,
Hi.
not to be nitpicky, can you just change the, yes.
Can we do that?
I
Is
mean,
that okay?
unless
I
that was
think
a
I can do
choice.
my.
Did you
I
make that
think
choice? Did you want
I
that?
think we can. Hell yeah!
You want, okay.
I can make all sorts of choices. Look at
Yeah.
this. Oh, I'm in.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
You look good. You look happy as always.
Things that happen. Oh, look, the little curls are coming out.
Oh,
Okay, that's nice.
mm. Okay, tell the people who you are. Yada
Hi,
yada.
everybody. My name is Shannon Stott Davis. I am an improviser here in Austin, Texas. I've been improvising for, oh man, 20 years plus now. I know, it's amazing. I started with Comedy Sports, and now I'm mainly with the Hideout Theater, but I teach all over the place with Fallout and whatnot. I just got back from Tucson, Arizona for the from the Cactus Flower Comedy Festival. And I was
Mm-hmm.
supposed to go and see John. What was that supposed to be this week?
Yeah, no,
And
next week. Next week.
our,
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
tears.
Oh, it's a real loss. It's a real loss. I know. I
It is
know.
a real loss.
But
It's a
yeah,
family loss, you know? It's a
it
loss for the
is.
family.
It
So,
really is. I was talking to also the other day, and it felt like it was hard to be the person to share that news, right? To be that was like hard, but I was so like I was just so relieved at how like compassionate and understanding people were. Like everybody's understanding generally the public right now, but
right.
the black and people of color improvisers were like, "No, we get it, and we're gonna come back, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be all right." And thank you for making that call. I was like, man, this is weird. I feel very ready to cry. I don't know what to do. This is good.
It's the thing, yeah. The thing about that call was, that idea of saying thank you is that all are we all want to be together. That,
Hmm.
as far as Black and Funny and supporting that and wanting to see each other succeed, it
Hmm.
obviously that's something that we want, but there has to be somebody who's going to say like, look, you know, uh, all of these things are happening around us. We don't want to be the one thing that stands out that's going to like make it worse for everybody, because in
Yeah.
the long run, we are going to come back, right? We are going to come back from this, and we all will be together again. And we don't want to look back and say, well, that was the one festival that like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so we couldn't do it. So
Mm. Let me be all safer. We're coming back blacker, bigger, blacker. Bigger than blacker. The improv is coming back. 2021. You don't know black till you saw black. Black and funny.
Thank you, Alcee. Thank you,
Yeah.
Alcee.
I just a little bit longer than I normally do.
This is good.
So
Good.
you have been doing improv for 20-some years in Austin. We learned yesterday that Austin is about 40% white, maybe what it was like 20% Latinx, and then
Mhm.
and then it's just kind of like maybe a mix of Asian and black, and others.
Yeah.
I don't know the math, but this is just what I heard yesterday from
Okay.
I forgot her name already. Also, can you share your pronouns? Damn it, I forgot to ask.
Thank you. I don't have a pronoun. I go by anything that people see. That is how I do.
All right, thank you for
I don't
sharing
have a
that.
pronoun. Yeah.
I have a new nickname. It's called Captain Can't Remember. My memory's like her name was Laura. Forgive me. This is, if you know me, this is just like my downfall. It's not a disrespect thing. I just
It's
have a
okay.
block here. Yeah,
I don't know who she was.
I can't pull that up. She is in Austin. She is part of the ATX diversity stage.
Laura.
Laura Gellin Wells.
Yeah. Sounds right.
Mm.
You got it. You got
Yes,
it.
I
You
felt
got it.
carried by
Correct.
angels. Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, and why did I? Okay, yes, they gave us like a snapshot idea about what's going on in Austin, but you've been there since day one.
Mm-hmm. What?
I don't mean
Let's
that.
don't, because let's not have somebody like log on here and be like, oh, what is Shannon saying about being in Austin since day one? I haven't been in Austin since day one. Improv scene, long, flowing,
Oh,
and
no. I mean, day one started when they got a black person named Shannon Stott. That's what I'm saying. Day one started when you got there. Bigger, blacker. 2021.
That's right.
Thank
Day
you so
one
much.
started when I got there.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Are they not entertained?
Dang, John, I'm gonna hear it. I'm gonna hear it from everybody, from everybody. Yeah. What is your question,
It is
Mike?
what is it about Austin that you now in hindsight could see was the roadblocks for real inclusion to happen?
Wow, that's well.
It's in your bones, you know, like some of the bullshit.
Wow, we're just getting into this conversation. So
Yeah.
this is the interesting part about Austin, and as far as like research that I have done.
Yeah.
The interesting part about the city of Austin and the people here is that if we're just talking outside of improv, we're talking outside of improv. Outside of improv, if you're going to be racist, if you're going to be that, you're going to hide it, and you're going to hide it really hard. And that is a difficult thing to overcome in general.
That's like Minneapolis.
Well, yeah. So there's this hidden, you don't know what you're up against. You can't tell.
Yeah.
I was born in Alabama, right? So I was born in Alabama. When I visit my family there, it's still very apparent. Oh, I see, that's racist.
Yeah.
That's racist. And you just like point it out, and
you got
it's
a Confederate flag, do-rag? That's
exactly.
Racist. That's racist.
It's very easy. And then for a long time, I was in Richmond, Virginia, right? Capital of Confederacy, which is like beautiful city. Missy Moss there was in here. Hi, Missy. But like, it's a very obvious, oppression.
Mm.
You know, and a very prideful oppression, if I'm being honest, right? The capital of Confederacy, there were giant statues and monuments everywhere, all of that. So from the moving from something like that, which is very obvious, to something like Austin, which isn't obvious, is really difficult because people are trying. There's a very genuine push to try. And then when we get into things like the arts, people want to be inclusive. People want to be inclusive. But what ends up happening now, we're getting into, okay, let's look at some improv. I guess let's look at improv.
Yeah.
Just like every, or not everything, but just like very many things, improv is a white male driven community.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And so the thoughts that come with that, the practices that come with that are passed down, and they're hard to break.
That's why you don't see hot sauce at improv theaters. There's never now we have a bottle of hot sauce in the fridge.
Or lotion,
or
my
lotion.
friend. Yes. Or lotion. Or any foundation that is my color. Or anything like that. Like, I'm going on stage, I need something. I'll take a little bit of something, and there's nothing. There's nothing. Yeah. So, those types of things are like, we struggle together. But you just don't see it. It's a very interesting thing. And for the first time, my experience that I had when I got here, I was very early into my career. Be warned, this is not a racist story. It's not a super racist. Nobody clenched their butt cheeks. But like, I was sitting after a show, and I was talking to a friend, a white woman, and we were talking, and she made a comment that was something like, well, you're going to do really well in like here. And I was like, oh, well, thank you very much. I've been doing improv for a really long time, so it's, I feel good about it. And she was like, oh, no, like, you're Black, you're a woman, people are going to put you in everything.
What?
And I had never even considered
Yeah.
that was a case. And for, I mean, now I've been in Austin for 7 years, and I'll say for 3 or 4 of those years, that rang in my brain because I had been doing improv for 15 years prior,
Yes. Yeah.
but and when I got here, I did get into a lot of shows like
Yeah.
immediately, or people asked me to be on troops
Yeah.
like very quickly. Like those things happened for me. Now, but it had that conversation never happened, I would have been like, obviously I'm
It's me.
doing well.
Yeah.
It's me.
They keep
I had
casting me in Raisin in the Sun, The
right.
Color Purple, the improv group. Why? I don't know. I guess I'm good.
It's me because I'm good. Because I've had
Yeah.
15 years experience. But
Yeah.
then suddenly I was like, oh, and is this, and I hurt for people who are going through that right now, who
Yeah.
are questioned or questioning themselves
Yeah.
on their merit,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
happened. And this is why this idea of having either all black casts, all black jams, all black, and we can say all black, all
Yeah.
Latinx, all anything,
Yeah.
but reinforces like, oh, right, there are other people who look like me. There are other people who
Yeah.
I can connect with,
Yeah.
who have the same experiences I do, who are doing great. And it has nothing to do with the fact that they are black.
No.
It has everything to do with the fact that they're hilarious or
Yeah.
and talented and.
Yeah. And it's to not that we need to, but we know where she's coming from. She was trying to speak to the scene as a whole. I think she was like, oh, you're black, you're a woman, you're talented. This is going to make it easy because they're supposed to think like me, which is I want more inclusion. That's like her mindset and her position. The impact of that is way the fuck off from where she was intending. Like something that if she says it, it's like, no, I go like this. Let me say that. Let me say that to Shannon. You don't need that. Let me be a person that says that. Let me be the black person who's inviting a new black person in the scene to say, you're talented. You're going to get cast. Let me do that.
Yeah. It's, people don't know how to talk to people.
No. And as a black woman, I'm sure you see that more times than any. I'm guessing you get a whole bunch of those kind of things because the real conversation she wanted to have was like, okay, look, this scene is garbage. You got a lot of talent. I have dreams of the scene being what it looks like when you walk outside the theater.
And see, that in itself is, I think that those conversations happen.
Yeah.
In this particular instance, I don't think that's what she was actually. I literally think she was like, oh,
affirmative action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's going to be easy for you. I've been in this scene a long time, and it has not been easy for me.
Yeah.
I'm a white woman. I've played. It's interesting. I once played a white man on stage who was having a conversation with a black woman. It was very trippy. But the conversation was something like, I was out of my mouth was coming like, it's so easy. It's so easy for you, a black woman. You're black. You're a woman. People move doors, but you're a white man. I just look like everyone else. So it's hard for me to make it. It's hard for, and like to say the words. I'm like, is this a real thought that white men have?
Like you say it and then you go, shut the fuck up, me. Shut the fuck up. What are you doing? Why don't you go write up a song where you stare at your shoes and then get invited to South by Southwest to perform at I don't know, like a Walgreens, CVS.
Oh my gosh, John.
That's where, yeah, I can.
Yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess. It's an interesting mess because you don't know where to turn to after all of that.
Right, you just get handed this.
Yeah, you're like, huh? And then who do I either talk to about that?
Right.
And just coming back to how important it is to have a scene where people can people can go where I could have gone. I wish there had been a scene when we're trying that now. We're trying to create that
That's great.
community here
Yeah.
in general.
It takes time. It takes so much time.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of trust. So that's like, oh man, let's talk about trust. You know, like I feel like you got a breakthrough year. This is the year where I don't know, I'm guessing, but I've just seen you like take charge of everything that you've done before and like own it. And that takes some serious faith, some serious trust.
Yeah.
Where it's not overnight. Like you've been grooming yourself to become this person that you are now for a while. Yeah. What were markers that you were like, okay, this was like a milestone for me because of this person or this interaction or this show that taught me this, you know, and I know how to like position myself. I know how to bargain. I know how to whatever.
So, okay, we'll go like 3 or 4 years back, maybe. So there was an oob that I saw.
A what?
Oh, what was it? There was a show
Did you
I
say
saw.
oob?
Oob. Oh, at the Out of Bounds Comedy Festival.
In Austin, Texas. Yeah, big.
Yeah, in Austin, Texas. So I was at oob and I saw Impro from LA do improvised Twilight Zone. And I was, at that point, I was like, maybe I'm done with improv. Then I saw them and I was like, right, improv is amazing. It's amazing. And so I slowly but surely have been just thinking about things. I got into Twins, which was Quinn Buckner and myself. I did some groups, the Escorts. There were like just little things that I was trying and doing. Then we had, I guess this was last year. Did you and I meet at Out of Bounds last year? Was that the last? That was last year.
I went on YouTube. You had a video there. I didn't even know you yet. I saw your video and I was like, need to meet this person.
Right. So I made this video. I had started to just talking to people. People want to talk to me because yes, I am a Black woman. And all the things. I was just having this conversation, right? Great. I'm a Black, like all the things that white people like to hear. Oh, she's Black. She's a woman. She's well-spoken. Right. She, the way she's powerful. She's in the industry. Like all the things that people like to hear. I am those things. Yeah. Great. Awesome. Fine. And then I made this video. I got to talking to this person. I got interviewed for Out of Bounds. They were like, oh, you're in so many shows. So I was like, it just so happened that dominoes fell a certain way. And I was like in 10 shows, something like that. So I'm getting to this trust, right? So I was like in 10 shows over the course of a lot of stuff. And I heard someone say to me something like, wow, like it's so easy. Like you just blew up like overnight, like suddenly you just like doing
my pearl.
Like, wow, that's easy. That's like, I wish, I bet I can. How do you? And they ask like, well, how did you do that? How were you in so many shows? And it's like, okay.
All right, here we go.
The video, you can go back through, Instagram or whatever. But the basic idea of the video was, wow, you know what? You know what's easy? Being a Black woman in comedy. That's so easy. Doing 10 shows. I just overnight, I got all of this stuff just because I'm a Black woman in comedy. There's some people coming to Austin and they too have it so easy, right? They just like live in the and it was interesting to get feedback from that. I got feedback.
Wait, when you say interesting, what do you mean? Yeah. All right. Okay. And well said. For those of you just listening to the audio, Shannon's eyes said it all. What interesting meant. Yeah. Yeah.
This idea of like, we're really trying here at this festival. Like we're trying, and like that video was painful, and I was like, my point is trust. There is a point in which and you know this. There is a point in which you go la 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 la, and then you trust yourself. You're
Yeah.
just like, when I posted that video, I was like, whatever, fuck it.
Yeah.
And I just
Yes.
posted it, and I
It's
thought,
iconic.
someone's going to understand
Mm-hmm.
that when they are here, they have somebody they can look at and
Yeah.
say, like, I get it. And that's what
Yeah.
happened to you, right?
Yes. Yeah. 1,000%. I looked at YouTube. I was like, "What's oob?" Boom, your video came up, and I was like, "Well, I don't need to look any further because that's going to tell me what I need to know." And then
Right.
it was like a quick video, and I was like, "Oh shit, this is like your video is like funny." And if you don't understand the like layers to it, you probably just like, "Oh, this is funny and it's pointed." But I was like, "Oh, we're about to have a war. Like this is coming off the heels of some real shit." I could tell. I know the biz, and I know what that meant.
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
and I knew it wasn't like like you weren't defending you were like speaking on behalf of yourself. I could tell you were
Right.
advocating for yourself, like,
Right.
hmm. And you were then taking care of the black people that were coming. And I was like, oh, that's how you do it. That's the way to do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Just,
I'm trying here, so you're talking about like just doing work.
yeah.
I think my hope and in the work that I have been doing
Mm,
as far as being a face, like here
yeah.
I am, and I'll get into, but like here I am. I am, if that is what you're gonna see, if me having breasts and being black is
Mm-hmm.
like what you're gonna see, great.
Mm,
Other people who are black have breasts and need to see this in order
yeah.
to join improv, that's fine. Like,
Yeah.
I need you to know that you are supported. I need you to
Mm,
know that there's other people. I
right.
need you to trust that there is somewhere for you to go, just like I trust that you are somewhere that I can go, right? Even though you're,
Yes. Yeah.
but finding Black and Funny, finding that community, understanding that there are people out there doing what we're trying to do
Yeah.
is huge. And what I was going to get into was it is interesting for me because I've been doing all of these YouTube videos, right? And the
Yes.
majority of my followers are white men.
Yeah.
And it's like, well,
Do you know who goes and watches Wu-Tang? White men.
right,
But
right.
black people, we're watching it from afar. We're like, yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead, get that.
yeah,
I'm in this
I
marathon
have
myself. I gotta
definitely.
do all these other things over here.
I like,
But go ahead,
right.
sis, get it. And
Yes.
and
And
we're
so I had people to like they'll like slide into my DMs on the slide. I'm like,
yeah,
hey, I see you. Can you just please I just need you to keep doing what you're doing. Just
yes,
please keep doing what you're doing. And that's like I get one of those a month,
yeah,
and that's all I need
yes.
just to keep it going so that
Hmm.
people know, like, I don't one person I was talking to said she'd been doing improv for something like 12 years, and this year 2020 was the first time she had a black teacher. Was it
Yeah,
12 years?
that's nuts.
Like,
Huh?
when,
Yeah,
that's hard. That's hard because you can only imagine all the stuff that she's gone through, all the scenes that she's been, all the things that she's been like
hmm,
portrayed as, or
hmm,
whatever. And just looking around, like, who do
yeah,
I take this to?
hmm. Damn. Wow, that's
I,
great.
that's
That's
all I want.
wonderful.
That's all I want. I just want people to, and this is great. This
Yeah,
is so great, John.
sponsored by Bumble. Hopefully,
I,
Come
let's get
on.
this Bumble.
Come on.
Get this Bumble
Bumble, don't
money.
be racist. Don't be racist now.
Don't erase this Bumble.
Come on now. Oh, Black Lives Matter. Bumble, come on. Get in there. No, yeah, this is opportunity, I think, for me personally, selfishly, to be able to uh, take a look into all the cool things that are happening in the world that I think gives me inspiration because I don't know, it's 2020 and we now officially know that what happens in China will affect everyone around the world. We are all here together. There's no escaping it. We got to really, truly understand that. Like, we really got to just forget about these borders in a way that's like deep and has a lot of humanity to it. And I was like, I don't know how that's going to happen on top level, but I know there's a lot of people doing cool work that I've met and I've heard of. And I think this whole like pandemic has been like, okay, well, now's the time to do this. If there was ever a time, now's the time.
Now's the time.
That's the slogan for the social distancing. Well, now
Now's the time.
Yeah, might as well get pregnant. Now's the time. Does have the time.
Now's the time. I mean, might as well just do it. Go ahead. I mean, you've always wanted these.
Have 4 or 5. Get it. I want to also like so for the folks that don't know, you will look up Shannon Stott, you will research, you will be
go find my YouTube channel.
Yeah, and this is like a thing that I haven't seen anybody do, which is YouTube is a platform that's out there. Obviously, we all know it. But you know what? I do my art. I'm just gonna make a fucking YouTube channel because like everybody understands. I'm gonna start a YouTube thing. Oh, it's corny. Oh, that's a lot of work. Oh, who's done it? You know,
right.
And you were like, no, this is right there. It's in my garage. I'm just gonna drive it. It works. I'm gonna make it my own. And that's what you did. And I love your videos. You take concepts that are dangerous, like for people to touch. They're not like people aren't like practicing therapists. They're not on a license. You take these concepts that, you know, people should have a license to talk about, but you bring it to you and you bring it to like how you make it work. And I think that's like it's undeniable. There's a lot of truth with the work that you do, especially that video on YouTube that's iconic. Go back and see Shannon talk about the festival, this last one in 2019. It's on YouTube, and I think I just resonated with the truth that was there, and I was like, wow, this is powerful. So I love that, and I think this is a reflection to me about like all the eras that have happened before. There's been black punk artists that have had to do a lot of like space creating and like inclusion making. I'm sure, you know, every kind of group has this sort of fight. I just feel like now it's kind of like with gentrification, there's no turning back. Like we need to just get into it and accept that, you know, it's over. Like who's that, Prince Harry or whatever from England? Even they bounced. They're like, I'm good. Guess what? I'm done.
They're bouncing. They're out. I was like, they're out. Can you do that?
Yeah, he got a sister. He's like, I'm good. I'm good, bro. I don't really need all that. She got a great following on Instagram. I'm cool. And the queen was like, huh. Low key hurt. Okay.
Like, oh, wow. Bye. I guess.
Yeah. There's no protocol for this sort of behavior.
And see, that's what you said. There's no protocol. There's no protocol for anything that we're doing right now. There's no protocol for anything that we're going through, like mass layoffs. Where are we supposed to congregate? Can you believe that, like, we can't congregate, you know what I'm saying? Like 10 or less people, and who knows how long that's going to take.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like, that idea, like, there's no protocol is, man, painful. It's painful because you're talking about YouTube videos. Like, yes, YouTube videos are out there. Improv is one of those things where there's no protocol for it, right? We're just sort of out here teaching it. There's no one way to teach it. There's no one way to do it.
Right.
And the way that we're gathering right now, this right here, being the new wave or the wave, is
Making Waves. That's the name of the show. Making Waves.
Making Waves.
Making Waves with John Gebretatose.
Thank you.
Yeah.
John. There's no protocol. There's no protocol.
No.
And because there isn't, I think on one side of the scale, it's really freaking people out. It's making people depressed. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to think or how to act. But on the other side of the scale, because there is no protocol, this makes waves. Like understanding that it's okay to reach out to whomever, however, whenever, in order to get this done, so that we come out, because who knows how long this will be, but we come out on the other side smarter, faster, better, stronger.
Definitely. also, like, maybe you're the same way too. Like, I don't care for like protocol. Like, it really, I'm anti-authority. Authority bugs me in a weird way. I don't like it, and also I don't think it's truly healthy because now you're telling people they're dependent upon a person's like decision on, you
Hmm.
know, for the safety of the people. Yes, yes, yes. But oh yes, like I just have always been that. I
Right.
never believed that, and I think that's been one of the biggest things we have here in America. That's a roadblock, North America, is that because there's no protocol in place for how we're gonna build positive, healthy race, uh, consoling and like all that stuff. Essay from Vancouver, black woman, amazing, so funny, but like, man, yeah, it'll happen. You all will meet. Little Clitty X though, if that handle is it's a fun show. I got to go see the show. But yeah, there's no rules to everything now. I agree with that. I love that. What bugs me now is that like, what it doesn't bug me, but I guess it's kind of like what we're doing right now. Is that we don't know, like, I don't know how this is going to turn out. We don't know how this turns out,
Right.
but it feels good. But also feels like needed. Like we're gonna
Right.
laugh and joke and everything, but also it's it's also a time where it's like sad. People are hurting. Like people are
Yeah.
really like broken, and these are strong people. These are people I've grown up with who are really like were just built for anything, and they're like, man, I don't know. And it's not just like a pandemic. It's like life with Trump and all these things have combined, and so yeah, it's been like really for me cathartic to be like, I don't know, man. To me, it feels better to like um, take care of people as most as you can, and even if that's like weird because you like maybe don't know that person, but you're like, you know what, let me just go ahead and call them. I don't know if they accept phone calls, but fuck it. I'm 30 something. I subscribe to Tidal. I listen to hip hop. I'm a different era. Whatever. I'll call them and I'll say whatever I need to say. It'll be awkward, but whatever. And I
No, that idea of taking care of people, man, it's interesting because the idea of taking care of people now is it's a long-term idea. It like before this whole thing, it's like that I'm just gonna call them, I'm gonna check in.
yeah,
It was like I'm gonna check in on their now,
yeah,
but what you're doing is paving a road for the distant future, right?
yeah,
Because people didn't know who, getting back to that trust, like people don't know, you don't know who to trust, you don't know who's gonna
right,
actually take care of you, who
right.
is going to call you in those times. And before this whole thing, you didn't really care, right? Because
Hmm.
you could go out, you knew, you sort of knew. But
Yeah,
now, like, man, I'm in my house, I can't leave, I don't know, maybe I'm too proud to reach out, maybe I'm
yeah,
too whatever. And to have you reach in
yeah.
sets a tone for later, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And not to make everything about improv because that is what I do because I love it.
Hey,
But
get it.
it's the long it's the long scene, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like before this pandemic, before this tilt, right?
yeah,
We can do the jokes. The joke is the call. That oh, I'm just gonna sort of call.
yeah.
And I made that point. Now it's gone. We dropped that. It
Right.
was funny. It's over.
Yeah,
But this is like, hey, John, am setting our platform. I'm calling you so that later and later,
yep.
like this audience knows, like, oh right,
Hmm.
right, Black and Funny 2021, right, because
Yeah.
John cares, because Huge cares, because somebody cares about us and has cared, right?
Yes,
It's
yes.
like,
And can I add
it's,
to that? Because
yes,
the thing that bugs me is we're always looking for that protocol. If there's an emergency or a crisis, we're looking to someone with an answer, and it's like then they don't have the answer. Hollywood never has an answer. It's them lifting from things that we're doing out here. I think we're really on this like air in this space where we're creating stuff that we're trying to like just make out of thin air we've never seen before. That's brave,
right,
and I don't need Hollywood to approve. I
no,
know what it is, and I think this is a great opportunity right now to just prove that. Like, if that was the case, where's the government? I don't see them here. They're not giving me Incredible Burger or whatever it's called, Impossible. I don't know. You
Mm-hmm.
know, they're not showing up. So I'm like, oh, well, then I'm not about to be reliant. And also, hopefully, this is like, I don't know. If it does, that would be the top, like the top. If this inspires like somebody who's like into some other niche art or whatever, they're like, you know what? My art or whatever I'm doing it's not representing me. I hope that they just get inspired to do what I mean. That'd be tops. I feel a little weird, like a little egotistical, but you know, that would be really really cool. And I just feel like we have all the resources and talent to
Mm-hmm.
not feel like beholden to any sort of, and it's really just up here. It's just like any sort of idea that, oh, I have to wait for them to give us a plan. I have to wait for them to give me the casting role in Hollywood. I have to wait for. We don't have to wait.
I wonder, can you talk about, can you talk a little bit about your, where, I'm always interested in where that comes from. What, for yourself, where does it come from to want to take care? Okay, so a lot of people are doing nothing, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people are, and they don't mean to do nothing. It's not that they're
Right.
selfish, but there's a fear. There's some sort of fear that is like holding them from reaching out. Can you talk about what your experience is, or what it is that is in you that motivates you to reach out and forward?
Yeah. Well, I think it's just like the upbringing, having my mother with schizophrenia, and I was the only child, so I was constantly thrown into situations where I was just feeling so vulnerable. It was almost like, here's my naked child. Can you watch him for the weekend? And I'd be naked the whole weekend because everybody knew my business. You know, you feel shame because you're also poor. So there's only so many times that you're gonna like experience that feeling of shame so deeply to the point where you go, look, it doesn't hurt anymore. I'm gonna just say the thing that I'm thinking and I believe in, you know, whether it's like I'm calling you on the phone, whatever it is, I'm like, I need this. This is the thing that I'm feeling, and I feel like it's appropriate. And maybe there's no like, again, protocol for it, but if I don't, who will? And also, the thing that I love about my mother, one time I broke her wine glass. She never drank, but she just had wine glass, and she loved them. She didn't really care about much, but these dumb wine glasses, she loved them. And I was like, okay, I will wash the dishes because I don't know, 8 years old, and I want to learn how to do chores. I broke the wine glass, and I thought, like, it's my mom. She's Eritrean immigrant, schizophrenic, diabetic, you know, all the things, came from a war, like, torn country. And this is like the one thing she like valued for whatever reason. It was meaningful.
Right.
I was like, I fucked up. And she was just like, what's done is done. And that was like the biggest gift she could have ever given me my whole life. It's this idea of what's done is done. We have to move forward. What's done is done. We can't dwell on like what has happened in a way that's like gonna ruin the future. Why would you do that? Why would you throw away? My mom saying to me like, I have so much good stuff in the bank with you. Why would I not be able to move over this? We can buy more of these. But you just said it so quickly, so swift, and it was like not what I expected. Like from years and years of living with this like most sweet, loving everything, I just knew like the last thing I wanted to do was disappoint her. And she was like, nah, you can't disappoint me. I can disappoint me. You made an accident. I'll buy another one of those. What's done is done. You didn't intend to like ruin my life. So I take that and I apply that to everything. I'm just like, I want to do a thing. I'm not intending to ruin your life by saying, I feel like you could use some more like representation for this thing or that thing. I feel like we can have a discussion about a thing. You know, I will speak up to these things because I'm just like, I'm not intending to break your wine glass. I'm just saying, I want to learn how to wash dishes. And how will I know how to wash dishes if I don't try it?
If I don't try. That's big.
Yeah. And then that combined with the anti-authority thing, that whole combination.
Okay, so can you follow that train a little bit further down that track, which is to how would you use that to inspire people to do this? Like, what is it that you're yeah, what do you say to them to have them be inspired to come out, do the thing?
Yeah. Well, wow. Like, well, first off, I think I'm not gonna have the words, so I would ask them if they have something in their gut or something's pulling them, and when everything's quiet and that voice is very loud, that voice is that's theirs, and that
Mhm.
one's telling them to do a thing. I said, just please listen to that, because that's yours. That's nobody else's. That's for you. Honor that and see where that takes you. And like we all know this right now. Like if you're an adult, you know this is just how life works. Things happen, mistakes happen. Whoopsie, you get over, it, you learn, and you move forward. So really, like, get into that, get comfortable with that, get comfortable with those mistakes. And honestly, you're not gonna do anything if you don't really make time for it
Mhm.
and make the time for the thing that you want to do. It really has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with the powers at hand. I mean, if we can
Okay.
overthrow colonization, we can we can make we can make serious things happen then. Like
Yeah.
that was embedded for years. Like
Yeah.
if we can get slavery about, then we there's no limit. But it does take courage, and it takes a lot of us, like, um giving ourselves compassion and being also like gentle with ourselves if we feel like we
Yeah.
didn't step up when we needed to. But yeah, Nipsey Hussle's a big motivator. I'd say go listen to Nipsey. He's good. Yeah,
And,
he's got.
all right, so just a little, I'm going to push you a little further. So
Okay, okay, and I'm
just a
trying not to
little
do
bit.
jokes in between. Do you notice this? I'm trying to.
You're doing great. You're doing so great.
Thank you so
So
much. Thank you.
there, this this idea, if you have a feeling, follow it. You're going to make mistakes, right? That idea.
Yes.
Then what do you say to the person on the other side of that mistake? So your mother was so compassionate, right?
Yeah.
You made a mistake,
Yeah.
you broke her wine glass, but she, in that split moment, her son, she was able to get over it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But there are these people who come at us,
Mm.
us, us,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
And they're trying,
Non-cis white men.
right?
When you're saying us, now we're talking everyone who is not a
Right?
cis white male. They're coming at us.
Well, yes, yes. And they're trying, right?
Mm-hmm.
They break our wine glass, and
Mm-hmm.
our my I don't have time for you to break my wine glass. You know how hard I worked on that wine glass? Like you, I know you tried, but now it's
Yeah.
too late. Like so what do
Yeah.
you say to me
Yeah.
in order
Keep
to
going.
help them understand? Yeah, to help them keep going, to help them
Yeah.
keep trying. Because I can't
Yeah.
all the
Yeah. Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's scary. Them coming to me is scary if I am
Yeah.
going to do that all the time. So what do you say to me to help them?
Yeah. To help them understand that they can trust your words. When you say it's fine, they need to be able to trust that. And I think
Well,
that's
to help me understand, to help me not scare them,
yeah, and that's the
and vice
thing,
versa.
right?
Yeah.
That is where time has to be valued. We have to value
Hmm.
time, allow time for people to understand those things, allow time for
Hmm.
people to run into brick walls. Let them
Okay.
have that. You gotta let them have that. You can't control them up to a certain point. You can't do anything, and then you just have to like have that faith. They will come around. They
Right.
will. And then the other part is like this is like this one and done, this scarcity mindset. This like, oh shit, I can't mess this up. Like have that fight with them, scare them.
Mm.
That doesn't mean it's the end all be all. We get to have more interactions. We get to heal. We get to have fights. We get to heal. We get to there's like there's like a line. Some things are just wrong, right? And let me get real here. Genital mutilation, wrong. There's things in
Mhm.
this world that's just wrong. But
Right.
there's human mistakes that happen all the time that we don't need to have lawyers in the room for some of these things. We don't
Right.
need some of these things we need to just be able and that's where it's like if I can be comfortable to call you and be like, hey, I need to talk. This made me feel a certain way. I don't appreciate that. That's when I know um I know that I am feeling like my true self and I'm not like I'm asking them to join me in this place where we can separate ourselves from our like actions or whatever.
Right.
To a degree. I mean, if there's like someone that's just like busting glass and always being like, I don't know, man, I just, whoopsie, and then taking shard glass home, stealing it. Like that person, call them out, do a YouTube video like you did, low key, but go over the top. And then if that's entertaining to you, but it is a scarcity mindset to say like I am gonna walk on eggshells because I'm afraid that if I break your spirit by telling you the truth,
Right.
that you are not human enough, you're not big enough to be able to one day get
And
over it.
yeah, man, that's hard. That is difficult to hear, I think. It's like inspiring in one hand and also difficult because it does take a lot of courage and a lot of over and overness, you know, like, man, didn't we just talked about this, and it may not be me and Brenda just talked about this. It may be me and like whoever, Lauren talked about this. Like, but now I have to relate. You know, I have to carry my Lauren conversation to this Brenda conversation, and I'm just like, that's tiring after a while. But honestly, I mean, what you're saying is true. It's like in order for Brenda and Lauren to be better people, like there's a spot where I have to sort of keep helping them.
Yeah, because then Brenda and Lauren are going to tell Jacob and Joshua and Terry and all these other people that are going to do the same thing. So you don't have to. That's kind of like the goal. When we're building community, we're building these things that are like, oh, we're creating a future where we can have hard fucking, you know, notes with each other as people, but also like know like, okay, that was hard, but I love them for sharing that with me. That's a lot, but they did it in a way that was like productive and meaningful. I'm not happy with them right now. I'm gonna be mad for a little bit, but that's my thing. And I think that's what we need to get to in order to really have healing on so many levels. Like, how can a trans person trust this person, you know, like without feeling like, this is going to be dangerous. You know, we gotta, so it boils down to being able to just be authentic and trusting like that's that's them. If they want to try to hurt me, that's a different conversation. That's something else. And we're bigger than that. I'm bigger than that. You're bigger than that.
Yeah. It's the thing you said about being authentic resonates with me because I recently did a video about being uncomfortable and like just being uncomfortable and how to get out of being uncomfortable on stage. If you come up against something where you feel like you can't handle it, here are some ways you can get out of that. And I got a response that was interesting from someone
interesting.
You know, and they're like, you know, well, I feel like being uncomfortable is. Oh, I see. I'm trying to. What was my train of thought? Right. They were like, I'm feeling like being uncomfortable is part of the journey. You have to be uncomfortable. You can't just parachute out. And I remember getting that, and I thought, oh, I see. I was being, what was the word? I was hiding who this message was for, right? That this message wasn't for everyone. It was for people who are marginalized. It was for people who are, you know, who are going through whatever. It was for people who get into situations who they are feeling like, oh no, I'm a gay man, and again, somebody who's endowed me with a wife, or I am a Black person or a person of color, and now I'm again playing a janitor. Like these types of things. And so the word that you used, you said, and I was just like, that is, you said being, you have to be, anyway, now I've completely lost it.
It'll come. We'll do it on the playback.
Yeah, can we just
you got to be your authentic self. I know that's
authentic self. That's it. Thank you. But yeah, I wasn't in doing that video. I realized that I wasn't truly my authentic self, right? I didn't speak from my personal view. I tried to include everyone. If everyone is this, but really you have to be authentically you and speak to your experience so that people understand, like, man, I have been doing a thing, no one else has been offended. Great, that's great that no one else has been offended. but the thing that you're doing is offending me.
Me,
Or you
right?
know,
Which is
I'm
100%
speaking.
personal. It's
Right. It's a right.
fucking
Right.
me.
Me. It's me. And so I am training now. I am
Yeah.
starting to understand now. Like, okay, these videos, the things that I do when I talk to people, sometimes it's for everyone.
Hmm.
Sometimes talking is for everyone.
Yeah.
Or my video is for everyone, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes
Right.
it's like it's for John, and I need to
Yeah.
say this video is for
Yo,
John.
and that's your power. That's where
Yeah.
even still Wu-Tang has 90% white men at the concert. But they
Mm,
can't relate to it, but they're there. They can still feel
right.
it. That's your power. Is you're doing some certain videos. It's for me. It's not for everybody.
Hmm.
But that's where that's where the good stuff is. Like
Yeah.
nobody walks away from like a general statement and goes, "Wow, blown away." Yep. Woo.
By that
Yes.
general statement,
Oh my God.
everybody included. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good.
But it's like those like very narrow things that are like, holy shit. You know how many people are in the same boat, like same position that you just like spelled out, like in these, like that's for me. When I saw that YouTube video you made, I was like, Shannon's talking to me in this video. She's telling me that low key, hey, white people, my friend John is coming, and all these like other black folk, brown folk, they're coming. So please clean the house up. And I was like,
Hmm.
oh, you did that for me? I've never seen anyone do that. I mean, people have wanted to do that.
Right.
A lot of people wanted to, and because of the way theater works and the way power works there and the way people need jobs, it's like, damn, man, I get, like, and I'm like, hey, we can't all be, like some people need to eat and they got to like move ahead. So they're like, well, they got to pick their fights. I'm not
Right.
saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying I get it. But like you were like, nah, here's the goddamn, here's your video, John. What
It
is
is.
this? Who? Shannon and Joy Duo. Oh, Joy Dolo's from uh that's Ashanti from Blackout. She says she wants you and Joy to do a duo. How about you
Let's
too,
do it.
Ashanti? Can you and how about this? How about this? Does anybody have a question for probably an icon in improv right now? Like right in front of you is an actual improv icon.
Hey,
And that's just like a legend already. So
Johnny,
Ashanti,
great.
type up a question if you have one. I see Greg Parks. Greg Parks is a black clown. Like worked for one of those circuses that traveled. I think he was like,
Mm-hmm.
if not the first, was probably the second or third ever black clown. So this chat is exactly what I like.
You're doing it.
Um,
You're doing it.
And then, so I had this like question. Okay, so what have been moments where you were like, oh, I'm doing the right thing? I had someone the other day, like when Casey Haig started her own theater, she was like, oh, there's been a couple of students that came in and they reminded me why I love this art. They were black, but it was just like their personality, and they knew the story, they knew the journey it took for them to come into that improv class, and then they did it, and it reminded Casey like why I love this art, who's a white woman, but also is like in New Orleans and understands, like the whole politics of it all. So for her to be inspired by this young black man, to get back into improv, that was like, that's like one of those like markers that there's no protocol for it, but goddamn it, that's a protocol, that's a sign.
I look. Okay, I'm going to answer that question.
Yeah.
Am I doing the right thing in answering this question, Ashanti's question, which is,
Oh.
what's your first thought when you saw other black people do improv? So man, this is gonna suck. This is gonna suck a lot.
Okay.
This answer is gonna suck.
Yeah.
It's painful. So I did improv with basically no black people for 15 years. There were some black people who came in, but they were stand-up. So they would come in, they would get some improv, and they'd be like, all right, peace, I'm out. I'm doing my stand-up.
Yeah.
And so I didn't have a really good grip on it.
It's like junior college. It was like, yeah, I'm just doing JUCO,
it was. You
and then I'm
need
gonna go
to do, man. Like,
D1.
it was great in its own right. You come in, you stay. Just come in and stay. All right?
Yeah.
But I came to Austin. I was doing some show, everybody was able to do this show. and I saw another black male man get up on stage, and I was like, oh my gosh, a black man. It's nuts. And the first thing that came out of his mouth was something like
sell drugs.
Oh shit! Like it was something like
Yeah.
oh shit.
Sorry folks, technical difficulties. We're figuring it out. It was like right in the middle of Shannon's story. This is part 2, which is awkward for me. I'm probably gonna have to edit this out when I make the video. Maybe I'll keep it, but this is where I'm waiting for people to come back in. Hey y'all, and then I gotta get Shannon. Shannon, you back? Shannon, I'm gonna send you boom, bam, boom, that boom back, bam. We was in the middle of a story too. I bet they were like, you know what? Shut it down. There's too much happening right there. That's scary. Okay, all right. You were saying?
Oh, we are back.
Yeah.
No,
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was less of that and more of me. Like, what are you doing to black people everywhere?
No, we don't do that. We don't need to do that. Why? Who said do that? You don't got to do that. Oh man, we don't need to.
It was terrible. And like looking back, like I have mixed emotions, right? Because let that young man do what he wants on stage. Let him do what he wants. But legit, you and me are the only 2 black people in this room, in this audience, on this stage, in this building. We're the only ones. And now I have to get on stage after you, and friend, brother.
Yeah.
You are killing it for me right now. And so the question was, what was it like the first time I saw a black person do improv? And then your question was, when did I know I was in the right space? And it was like, basically those are the same thing. I was like, that has to stop. That shit has to stop right now. Because we have to, like, oh man, it sucks.
You can tell when it's not coming from an authentic place. You know, if I did it, we've all done it. Here's the thing. Every black person has done this. If not in improv, then you've done it in a class when you're in school. You know, where you do the, like, inauthentic, I'm going to black it up to appease somebody for some reason right now.
For some reason.
And,
Yeah. And sometimes you're doing it and it's funny. Sometimes you're doing it and it's like, ooh, I see what you're doing there. Sometimes you're doing it, and what I believe was going on was that young man was very new to improv. And so he was doing whatever it was.
Whatever I got to do to get a laugh, I got to do it.
There it is. But I was like, look.
Yeah.
I'm in the right. I know that people coming up behind me, right? Like they just need anything just to see. They need to see us do it all. They need to see us do it all. I had so many times, and to further that, the next probably time that I was like, yes, was the first time that a black couple came up to me from the audience afterwards. And it's like, that was so, thank you. That was so, you're the first black person I've seen on stage. We've been coming for a while. We've never seen a performer on stage. And it was like great. And I fought over my job. I was like, I did my job. I did well, good, great. And so like, those people, you know, my point is people see me, they get into classes, they start doing the thing, they have an experience that is good for them, right? But that is like, man.
Without a relationship with that person and then to jump out there with that, you're like, what? That don't add up, because we're in improv, first off, which is inherently just a white setting. This is not a Tyler Perry production. We're not talking from
I can't.
Black. So when you jump out there and you do that, it's like, whoa, you are immediately sending the message to the audience right at the top that I'm here to get laughs, and by any means necessary, I'm willing to
do anything.
Like, and that's from like not having experience, like you pointed out. We know where they're at when they're younger, but it was like you recognize like, oh, this shit won't stop, because it was a revolving door. They come in from stand up and they take a class or two, they do a show, and then they're like, I'm going to D1 to do whatever. and you're like, fuck, it's going to be this constant thing where we're never going to be able to be in here and just be normal. Like,
normal people. And that's the thing, like, and not to say that drug dealers, pimps, like whatever, black drug dealers, pimps, and prostitutes and whatever don't exist and aren't normal.
Right.
That's not, like, that's some people's normal. That's
exactly.
a lot of people's normal.
I've been one of those normals one of my times in my life, maybe. We all have.
Right? So, but there's no but. Have you... Improv is a white space. It's a white space. If there's only one Black person in that white space portraying one of those normals, 50 white people are going to come out of that room.
Like, I told you so.
Like, I knew. So. I remember when I said, right?
Yeah, the nigga shucked the jive. And they don't have the tools to be able to really spell out if they had a satirical point. They don't have the ability to speak to agency to, like, say, actually,
that's not what that's right. And so I'm not saying that you cannot do that. I'm not saying you can portray those people. That's not what I'm saying. I am saying we need more Black people in improv so that we can get a variety of
Blackness.
Blackness. Yes.
We're worldwide. We're in Alaska. We're engineers. We're in space. We're so many different things.
Yes, we are.
People.
Oh, my God.
And you were like, this is my one place where I get to be me, and I love this art. And here I have to now, because there's another Black. You're like, I have to throw away what I've been building for myself. This is all internal,
for myself.
By the way.
Yes, and it's such it's so interesting. It's really interesting because it's, you say all those things and then you think about not only is the audience taking that away, but the people on stage who are playing with you are thinking that's okay to put, like, to pink you out.
Right. What's the problem?
Like, you did it.
You did it? Huh.
Like, no. And then we're setting up people, we're just setting up people all the time. I had a young man to take me out to lunch and ask me, like, why is it that every time I'm on stage, somebody is making me a football player, or I'm a convict, or I don't take care of my children. Like, why do I get those things on stage? I'm like,
we know why. We know why the community has not been taught that they need to think about that.
Right.
And never been taught to actually consider, you don't get to jump out there and just be like, words are coming out. Wow. No, like, read the room. That is a big Black man. Outside of this theater, he is dangerous to people, quote unquote. So let's be, it's a calling everybody into, like, whatever hangups and bullshit you bought into from childhood or whatever they taught you and stereotypes. This art is like saying and asking you, can you please be your best version of yourself when you come in and do this? Can you try to acknowledge that, like, there's a dumpster fire in society, the audience is coming in with that. Can we build from that place? It's scary.
Do you see this? Somebody says, we talk about playing at the top of your intelligence, cultural intelligence through authenticity matters. And
Velvet Duke, Velvet from Toronto. Yes. I wish I had a finger snap button.
there should be, right?
Yeah.
It's true. It's like, play the top of your intelligence. Play to the things that you know. Like, if you're authentic about, and you can be authentic about anything and everything.
Yeah.
If it's authentic to you, what you said before, right? If you're being your authentic self. So it's always an interesting. It's always so powerful to teach, and to let people know, like, hey, that choice that you made, you don't have to make that choice, and you don't have to say yes. You don't have to say yes and to the choice that is in front of you if the choice isn't you.
Yeah.
And I teach women. I try to teach women female identifying workshops, right? Where women tell me, they are prostitutes. They are, endowed as prostitutes. They're endowed as secretaries. They're endowed as mothers, sisters,
Mm-hmm.
grandmothers, all
Mm-hmm.
of that, you know. And there are ways I've seen people play those. I've seen them just like, of course I'm a prostitute, and I
Right.
also go to Harvard, right? Like I've
Mm-hmm.
seen people like
Whew.
twist and play and be just amazing at that. But when you're a young improviser and you get put in those situations
Yeah.
and it feels like that's all you get put in,
Uh,
you need somebody, you need to be
yeah.
able to scan the room and look and find somebody that can
Yeah.
help you out of that situation, that can help you at least not even out, just to understand one,
What?
why, and then two, yeah, what are your options, you know?
Yeah. 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 We can't. Yeah. How can we expect them to speak up for themselves or whatever if they don't even have someone in the room to help them work
Right,
through it? And we're
right,
talking about true allyship, right? We're talking about people that are all in to support by any means necessary, always in the back of their mind, constantly trying to remember other folks, being mindful. Yeah, that's
I
that.
see you doing so many things like that, John.
Mm,
I like just all the jams, all the different jams that are coming out of
yeah,
you
yeah.
are so lovely. I'm just, it's so great. Thank
It.
you. Thank you.
Oh man, I don't know what to say. It would have happened. I don't know. I don't. Thank you. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yep.
beautiful.
Yep. Take it.
I just realized something, and I think I messed up. I hope. Okay, it's a technology thing. So one of these two videos, like the last one, cut out because maybe it was an hour long. I don't know why,
Oh,
or or the government don't want motherfuckers to be self-reliant, to
tell,
be dependent on
telling
their
you.
own, But I think I messed up. So like maybe one of these two pieces will be forever. But now I'm gonna learn. I just want to apologize. Like if we only get one of these two, that's what it was. Lack of information on my behalf, but at least my shoes are good. No, and at least my Jordans are clean.
Their Jordans are super
They're
clean.
clean.
Hands are clean. Totally sanitized. No, that's totally, it's very fine. We can always talk again. There are a lot of people.
This is how we talk. This is what I love about this is we're showing people just our like conversations. It's
Yeah,
really
this is
cool.
good. This is
Oh, what
what
did
it looks
somebody
like.
say? What did somebody say? They said what? One of the hardest things about being the only one is that you never get the opportunity to not code switch, to adapt to the culture lens of the majority. Amen. Yeah, you know who's got like a fucking thing, like my whole like first 5 years of improv was like people being like, "Oh man, John's great," but like I don't know, like some like, and I think people felt that resistance because I'm just like, I'm not going to do that, and I'm not going to. So I never got like heavy. I wasn't heavily cast and stuff. I never was. I was appreciated. People enjoyed me, but I wasn't respected. I now know why. It's because I wasn't. I'm not. I wasn't. I don't do. I don't. Yeah. I mean, like if I did do it, I would do it and then have like, oh, I see what just happened, and then be done, and then I have a conversation. But yeah, it's so hard because there's so many things pitted again. I know the feeling. It's like, oh, I need this. It's weird. You get this like mindset. I need to get this cast. I need this person to think I'm funny. I need this person to get it. I need whatever. There's so many external things that we're like asking for, and it's like, man, that's of course. But after like a month of doing that, you're like, whatever. I'll do what I need to do. They're not gonna get 90% of the things that I was gonna say. So let me just do the 10% so I can continue chipping away. Oh, who knows how long I'm gonna chip away? It sucks. So
It does suck. It's funny. What my blessing has been because I started in comedy
yeah,
sports, which was
you guys are
just
bad, man.
nothing but like short form games,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it is itself a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're either on the blue team or you're on the red team,
That's it.
and that's it. There's nothing else unless
There's
you're
no room. It's
right,
happy-go-lucky. It's a good time. It's right
right,
up here. You know what I mean? Smiles, sunshine, rainbow. It's. Let's keep it
yeah.
there, folks. That's what this is.
That's all we're doing. That's
Yep.
all we're doing, and I I didn't have an understanding at all, that there was other things going on, the shows and long form and blah, blah, blah.
Oh,
I
and
didn't
improv. You
really,
didn't know there was another world of improv.
yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
like, I just didn't. And anything that I ever saw improv wise was out of my own theater. And they did some long form and we did some musical things,
Yeah.
but it was all in house. And so there wasn't it was like, hey, do you want to do a thing? Yeah, let's do it. Okay, let's do it. And so we did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so there was none of this, like, oh, hey, you're the janitor secretary.
Right.
You're the black janitor secretary. What the fuck are you talking about?
Comedy Sports presents Family Matters. Why is Shannon playing all the roles? I have just wanted to know why.
I didn't ever see that. I didn't ever see that. And so when I got into it, man, it's been a mind trip. It's like
100%. Yeah.
It's been a mind trip.
And I came in from a different perspective where I was doing the stand-up, but then I got seen by somebody who's big in improv, Lauren Anderson. So that made me feel like, oh, maybe I do belong. Maybe I can have my own process, my own like pacing. I don't need to, I need to work it out. It's gonna be messy, but I don't need to. Like this person wonderfully said, you have to adapt. Like maybe I don't have to in certain ways adapt socially, off stage stuff, with the parties and whatever. Maybe I don't need to be friends with some of them.
Right.
And so I got that freedom. That's how but I also understand your perspective because I have friends who are Black who have done that kind of route. And just like, oh, it makes total sense. You've been like, oh, I'm doing a job, right? Comedy Sports is da-da-da-da, everything's great. Nobody look in that direction. Everything's wonderful.
Everything's fine.
It's good. And then if you do that over and over and over, you're like, okay, it becomes normal. And you're just like, yeah, then you go out and you do independent work and you're like, holy shit. Oh man, somebody else created that structure that was somewhat safe. Like for Black and brown folks, comedy sports is somewhat safe for because you know what the aim is, but you know
what the game is. You pretty much know what's going on. It's short, it's fun. But I wish I had. There's just a lot of work to be done on the teacher side. There's a lot of work to be done when you see things, calling things out in classes. I really wonder, this young man who was talking to me about, always being cast or like painted as a football player, not taking care of his children sort of character. It was difficult because that is, my questions to him were, who is letting this
let that happen?
Who are the teachers? Like, are they not saying anything? Like,
they don't see it.
They don't see it. And then when they do, they don't know how to address it.
Yeah, they're afraid to.
They're afraid to address it.
Yeah,
and so
both of them.
They don't know what to say. And
it shouldn't be his responsibility as a student to have to create this culture where he has to do these things. It should be that.
And the other sucky part about this, John, is that when you are in it, the way that improv is built, with this yes and attitude, with this we are all together, we're trying to create something together, we don't say no. When you are new, you don't know that it might feel intuitively like that's weird, but you look around and you're like, oh, people are laughing. No one is saying anything.
Right.
So maybe this is just. You don't know that it's like you almost don't know that you're being
or you do know and you go, you know what, it's fine because everyone's enjoying it, so it must not be that.
So it's not going to be.
It must not be a thing because they're laughing and the audience knows best.
And I was and that even for women is such a. It's a mind fuck, because like the thing is that butts up against this consent idea, right? So now, and I'm a Black woman, so that's my authentic truth. And so for Black women, it's even more shit going on in your brain. So okay,
Ooh.
like I guess everyone's laughing, so I guess this is okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then you take that mentality and you stick it in other situations. I guess no one's saying
Yeah.
anything. We're still going, so I guess
Yeah.
this is okay. And then
Yeah.
you just continue to put that mentality in all these different situations that are for women,
Right.
and you do not know how to say no. Like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
thank you. This is not okay. Like,
Yeah.
we can
You
stop.
ever you ever been in a situation where the world look like the audience or they look to you, and if you don't say no, they go, okay, it is funny then, huh? Like Shannon's enjoying it, y'all. Look, it's fine, and you're like, I haven't said
I'm
a single thing.
so lucky. I'm
Yeah.
so lucky. I think probably because I've been doing it so long and
Yeah.
the way I came up, I
Yeah.
haven't been in those situations. I
Good.
have been in situations where, to me, I was in a situation once where I played an Igor character. Yes, yes. And
Mm-hmm.
this white woman that I was playing against played a duchess or a Dutch, like, oh yes, well, let us take care of the land or whatever.
Yeah.
And I came out and I probably said the words like, yes, master, yes, the land, survey the land. And I read her body language, and
Huh.
she was like, I don't like this master. And
No.
so what she tried to do was shift so that she was like, I said, the one thing I want is my freedom. That's what
Uh,
oh, you've always had your freedom.
yeah, no
You've been
slave things happening here, folks. No slaviness. Nope. We are free. Yes, we are. You are free. I'm not a slave owner.
I looked and I saw there was one other black supervisor, and I didn't know I'm playing Igor.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening. Like, I'm playing Igor. Like, I don't understand why we're having this hard time. And I looked at the
Right.
other black supervisor, and he was dying laughing.
Yeah.
And I saw, like, oh, I see. And then I just leaned in. I just leaned.
Yeah.
No, you never see my freedom. Why
Right.
am I stuck here in these shoes? I thought
Yeah.
it was hilarious, but
Yeah, but like, no, I'm not. Listen, I'm not. No, legally, I can't say that I agree with what's happening on stage. I don't want to look. I got a couple of kids. I got a house. I got a 401k. I don't want to. That's
I don't have slaves. I
no.
don't. There's no
Listen,
slaves
I have an
here.
uncle. He talks that way. I don't agree with
I
him.
don't. No,
Thanksgiving's really uncomfortable. I.
no.
Yes,
But
yes, yes. And that
but
also is on the flip. That's the other side of the coin, right? That's that like, ooh, I don't have the thing. I don't know how to, and I'm afraid to.
yeah, and so you can't play.
Hmm.
Like, sometimes you can't. You're in situations where I'm literally just trying to play. You
Yeah.
know.
Hold on. Little
Yeah.
Clitty says once my first improv teacher taught me to say no. It was over everyone else who played with me. It was over a game that I don't know how to read. I'm sorry. It was
I get.
over a game where everyone played with her. Okay, so like Essay was doing some like improv, and the teacher was like, just say no.
Just say no.
I'm guessing. Essay, let me know if I'm understanding this right. You can even spell it out even more, but like that's so empowering. Like, oh my God. Like I was saying no regardless because I was just like, John Gebretatose as an entity do not want to continue with,
Yeah.
and also John's character does not want to continue as like, not even like on some like, this is like problematic, just like on a like artistic choice level. No. I was like, I might not have like a degree in anything, but like, I know I'm smarter than whatever that is.
Right.
And
And
that's my
that's
own
the
sensibility,
thing.
but
Yeah, it is game over. Once you understand how to say no, like, and in many ways, you can start out as a baby improviser, a green improviser, just literally legit being like,
yeah,
no, stop,
yeah,
or walk on stage, or you can do all those things. But I've seen such like finesse, you start doing it and you can say, there's lots of things you can do.
yeah.
In the video I made, I've addressed audiences where I've been like,
Hmm.
um,
Easy,
that was a
relax.
dream.
Yeah,
That person woke up from that dream.
right.
There
This is
was a
reality.
long,
I'll stab you
difficult
in
dream.
real life. This is not no dream.
Right.
Lights up.
You know,
That is what we want to say.
yeah, you can do all of those things. I think that
Yeah.
one of the things that I stress hard when I teach is that, look, this is improv. It is
Yeah.
the one place where you can do, say, be anything you want. And people don't really feel like, oh yeah, that's really fun. No. It's like you can be a bird and you
Yeah.
can fly away. You can be a thought and you can like really get into some people's mind. You can do anything on stage that you want to do in order to keep yourself safe. And
Yeah.
yeah, once you're taught like no and how to know properly, yes.
Yo, one day someone tried to stab me with a sword, and I was like, I now have a shield out of thin air, and I was like, oh, holy shit. Oh, this is okay. Now you playing my game, buddy.
Now
There's two games, and I have one now. It may not be a good scene because I'm like a week in, but I have a new toy, and I'm gonna be rocking this for a long time.
I mean, it's powerful, man. Like to give people that like that tool
Yeah.
of no.
Yeah. And you know, that's
Nonsense.
all across the board. If you are in a position of authority and you're like, I'm supposed to be able to give them the instruction, and I don't know, you can say, you know what? No, I need to think about the answer to that. So no, I'm not comfortable right now,
Right.
and I'm scared. So let me think about it. People need to be okay with saying, I don't know. I'm down to get back to you, but like, no, we're not going to move forward until I have an answer for you. So now for the rest of the class, we're going to do zip, zap, zop till we're tired. So there we are. There we go.
So you're welcome.
We
So
all
thank
know how
you.
to do
And you're welcome for this.
That's right. Whew. Yeah, I've seen teachers in that situation where they go, and they speak to the thing. They speak to it in a way it's like, oh yes, in the springtime it is very common to see flowers bloom. Like, you know, you just like speak about a thing where like you weren't there, like you're like now just kind of relaying information. Like, no, why are you talking? Like, you just saw this thing happen. And so yeah, I've seen that, and that's a powerful thing to be like, I did see that. I don't know. I want to do right by everybody here, and I understand all these different dynamics. I'm going to mess things up, so let me not mess it up worse than it can be.
Right.
By just saying, everybody stop. No, we're going to move to a different direction.
Right.
That because I am the authority, so no. Oh, man, that would have saved a lot of awkward moments.
Well, you have to teach these things. It's like you, and we're in such a, you sent this
who just joined the room? John just joined the room. John from Chicago.
Hi. I like this. This is nice.
This is nice.
We could do this all the time.
We could do this. Yeah. Yes. We really could, and we should.
We should. This should be a once a week.
If you want this, I will do this. I'm doing this every day for the next.
You heard it. You heard it.
It's gonna happen. Bumble's gonna sponsor it. It's gonna happen.
Come on, Bumble. Get on this.
Jumped in there. You were saying something though, like right before I got excited. John,
you have to teach it in the class. It's like man, it's such a trickle down, right? Because you have to teach it. In order to teach it, someone has to be in there that has experienced it or knows what they're talking about. So, you can't just sit around and discuss mabies.
Right.
You have to talk about how do you handle it? What do you say? Do you stop a class? Do you just we don't do that.
Right.
Oh, why? I don't know. Because we don't.
I have no idea. It just feels like I'm going to get fired if I say anything from this moment on. So I'm going to ask us to take a break, please.
Right. I'm just going to. So the other thing that I was saying was you sent me I'm sure you sent it to everyone, but you sent this an email about how you start classes, how, you start classes with names, you to use pronouns, figure it out. And then in the email, you're like, look, if you're going to do that, once you say everyone's name and ask for their programs or pronouns, use their pronouns. Use them.
I'm gonna give credit that I believe that who took that concept of like caring about C. Michael. honestly, people like, yes, I'm good, but like the people in this town who just yes and did a lot of these like things, that's a result of that, like taking it further, and I'm able to be like, yeah, that's right, we can challenge people to
Yeah.
be like better. Like
Yeah.
you can, if you're an actor, you can memorize lines, you can get off book. Remember, you can memorize some
Right.
toenails.
Yeah. You can do it. I.
Yeah.
It's it's amazing how.
Hold on, Ashanti is the first. Okay, lesson one, yes, and lesson two, no, nigga. That's how Ashanti would say it. Ashanti would laugh hard after, afterwards. Lesson two, did y'all remember lesson two? Because it seems like y'all forgot. So I'm going to remind y'all. Lesson two, no, nigga. I'll keep playing with that lesson one shit. Lesson two, you're going to learn. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh,
That's I like. I'm just gonna start teaching that.
no, nigga. The other. Here's the
Repeat
thing.
after me, everybody in class.
It's two words. No,
Easy.
nigga.
No, nigga.
Yeah.
No. No, nigga. No.
No. Yes, like.
You get fired.
Also, I don't advise y'all to say that ever. Just so you know.
Please.
Just so y'all. Please don't say that. I'm not there to police you at rap concerts. I guess you're gonna do whatever you're gonna do. But no.
Oh my God.
I love all of it, and I think you need to have an online master course for all the every improv instructor needs a course from you. I don't care how long they've been teaching.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, if you're gonna want to like work on your craft as a improv teacher, you should probably start with Shannon. You need to get into that work. There's a lot of like people who've done wonderful like things with improv. They've written a lot of books. I've maybe read 2 of them. I know of a guy named Keith Johnstone because his name is almost 2 first names, and then he's got great like everybody who talks about him has like a lot of admiration. And then there's like the other guy from Chicago who everybody's like, oh yeah, Dale Close was he once kicked a donkey for no reason, I don't know why, and then he wrote some racist stuff in spray paint on the donkey. But he's brilliant, man. I think he's brilliant. We don't know, but he said he was brilliant to us. This is what I know of Dale Close, and I believe there was drug and all that stuff, but we don't have. This is what I want, and I'm pushing for, and I'm asking you to do that online course where improv instructors, hey, guess what? You've been doing it 5 years. You need this. Update your like.
You need a reboot.
Yeah, and that's easy. That's
Lesson
easy.
1, chapter 1. No, nigga.
No, nigga. Sign off. Everybody signed off. I don't know how they signed off. Well, that's a quick course. Ashanti is going to be the definite, like, your hype man in that. Like, you said no, nigga. Ashanti's like, no, nigga.
I'm so happy with
okay. Question for you then, if you don't mind. I got this from Giant Steps. It was a conference here in Twin Cities. It was for artists to get together and pull together resources and have panels. But the question they would ask artists when they were doing their panels at the very end was, is there something you need from the audience? What do you need from people? What is it that you, the artist, needs? What is it you think Austin, the improv community, needs? What do you feel like Shannon needs from us?
From you, like the viewers, the community?
Yes.
I mean, I wow, that is a great question, Sean.
Yeah, Giant Steps.
This is what I need.
Yeah.
This is what I need. I need people to stop saying things like, you're doing great. I saw you on YouTube, or I saw you on da-da-da-da-da. Seems like you're doing a great job. I need you to take that like mentality of telling me how great I'm doing and push it into action.
Yeah.
So the people who especially like theater owners.
Mm-hmm. We're talking about people in the community. Yeah, all points.
Yeah, theater owners, theater teachers, students, all of that, who are looking at what I'm doing as like, wow, that's real cool. Like,
Yeah.
wow,
Right.
man, I just I had thought of that, like, or whatever. Like, that's real cool. And take an extra step and create the thing, create the class, create the all black jam,
Yeah.
create the all LGBTQIA jam.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Make
create,
things.
make the thing.
Or
That's
be your best, if you're talking about the marginalized folks, be your best self, thrive, go to the top, right? Shine, like push the art further, like make people go, oh, I didn't know you could do that with this. You know, like maybe your thing isn't making, you know, like those spaces jam,
videos or
but
jams
be
or
that.
do keep take the actual step. Take
Yeah.
the actual step. And then once you've taken the actual step, tell me
Yeah.
that. The
Yeah.
lead should be, I saw your video that inspired me to blankety blank. I am doing it. Please come. So
Yeah.
that I can help you. So
Yeah.
that, you know, yes, because seeing my videos
Yeah.
is so great. It is. It's real great.
Right.
What and then you saw my video and then
Yeah.
you
Right.
okay,
You did
and
nothing?
then now
Okay
I
then.
can help you. Yeah.
Now or you did something, or yeah, let's talk
Yes.
about it.
Let's
More
talk
than
about
like,
that. Let's move that forward.
you're speaking to my life, yes. Every day, every day, every day.
Yeah,
Every
John.
day.
Yes,
I
yes.
feel that.
I feel so supported by you. Oh man, it's so good. It's such good support. This art
Oh,
is like, oh, it's so gone, right?
yeah.
Because that's exactly what it is. It's improv. We do it and then it disappears.
Mm.
But it is viable and beautiful and important in its own right and does not get the respect and love and joy that it should.
Yeah.
But some of that is because people just are out here doing it and they don't feel supported. And for me to do the things I'm doing and feel supported by you is a big thing. There's so many people I feel supported by, but I love that you champion me and I very much appreciate it.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. That's well,
It keeps me going. It keeps me doing the thing.
that's so beautiful, and I feel like there's it's definitely reciprocal, and honestly, there's nowhere else to go with today's interview. That is where we have to stop. That is a hard stop. That is a lesson number 2. No nigga. That is
No.
principle number 2. No nigga. Thank you so much, and I guess tell everybody where they can find you, where you're gonna be, well, you know, with this pandemic and all that, I guess.
Right. I'm gonna be right here. Right. You're right here. But you can find me on YouTube. Please go to my YouTube channel, Shannon Dale Stott. Shannon Stott. Oh Lord. Just look up Shannon Stott. STOTT.
Yeah.
You'll find me.
Legend, icon, best to ever do it, the best that ever was. Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Now I'm just drumming up wrestling things from my youth. I'm stupid, but thank you so much. I got a lot of things to think about how to take this whatever this thing is we're doing right now.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna take this and get Bumble to sponsor
Yes,
because that would be so cool. And then I think you know, I don't know. I feel like we're doing some really cool stuff. I think this is very
We
cool.
are. You are. This is your trailblazing. So thank you very, very, very much.
Amen. Amen. Hallelujah. I don't know why I go right to Christian. I can't take compliments. I'll take the therapy. Thank you so much. Good. Everybody who viewed tonight, thank y'all.
Thank you
And
for being here.
thank you for watching the video. If you watched the later video, thanks, folks. Good night. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. I love you, Shannon.
Bye. I love you, John.